riding the branch, right? But she's wired it underneath.
The reason I didn't glue it is because I like to make my pieces so that they can come apart, especially with the fittings, because I like to change my pieces in and out. So we wired them on, then I went back through with it and added some more blocks to it. And then I've also added the block birch coming up the side, so it looks like he's sort of sitting in a tree there. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to add some of my cones to that, just to fill it in a little bit, and try to make this, instead of a real flat wreath that's got some dimension to it. The space between the doors you have to work with is about 4 inches, and I like to work with about 8 inches. So pieces I like to do are more for a mantle or a wall, or I like to show the dimension of it. So I'm going to add some cones.
I saw the wreath, and then I saw the triangular shape here in the middle, and I thought, well, if you added a couple of those trees, which again, if you buy a set of 3 or half off today, it kind of works itself together. Right now you have a nice group. You can put the medium one up front if it was in the white or the silver. But just took a basic green. This wreath, when you look at them on the back wall, there are some that are pre-lit and some that aren't. And the winter green that's on there is made in such a way that it's reflective. So even if you don't buy one that has lights on it, it almost shimmers, but there's no glitter on it. It's just a shiny finish to the vinyl that gives it that look that it's pre-lit. So when you do light it or add some glitz to it, like the silver, it kind of brightens up the whole wreath, right? So here Dave has taken 2 different types of number 9 silver shear, added some holographic ornaments, plain ornaments and finials, just to finish that off. And then of course, a little bit of that glitter eucalyptus. You know, the glitter nuke almost looks like it's pre-lit by itself, doesn't it? It kind of stands out. All it needs is just a little bit of natural light, and it picks it up. I don't think our wreaths all the time have to be just small, but everybody's home is different, right? And this one I think is very much a beautiful statement. About a 40-inch wreath with some clock birch branches. And I love the way they taken the branches and bent them down. Right? It doesn't always have to be straight up as we're growing them, but that's the key and the fun part of being a designer. You do things the way you want to do them and use them in a different way. So this is one thing. This is Kim. So Kim has taken this one and brought those branches down so they bow over the top of that laying down fox in the middle of the ring. Little snowballs. These are typical Michigan snowballs with a little bit of grass and twigs over. Some flock branches. I love this flock branch. It has almost like iridescent glitter to it, as well as some pine cones. Very natural. And then a few other pine cones added in. Just a beautiful piece. Can you see that above the mantle? You know, perhaps you have a vaulted ceiling and you have that huge blank wall you want to fill. This would do it with them. Here's another one of Kim's designs. She's used that's the same wreath that you're making with the holly, correct? But in this case, she hasn't added the flocked holly or the flocked box to it. She's just used it very natural, added some red berries and red foliages to that. And then at the base, she's added not one but 2 foxes, as they say, 2 fox pups playing at the bottom of the wreath. Isn't that cute? It's just something that has, it's an attraction. When somebody comes in, they look at your arrangement, they go, oh, what a beautiful wreath. And then they're going to go, oh, wow, look at those foxes. So it just upgrades a little bit more. And they're not very expensive, but it's very keepsake-ish. Very pretty, well done. She's also added the birch branches, and of course, again, artificial blueberry juniper, which I think is very well done. Can you see it there at the bottom? And the gray fox to the blueberry juniper is a very nice coloration, you know, blend, one right to the other. to buy today. So I told Kim, I said, you gotta do something else. So she said, okay. So she made a frame with the birch branches. So she just took 4 groupings of birch branches, and then she wired them in the corners, hold it together, and then she made her wreath from there. Very simple and easy to do. Now this easel that Tim has is a very heavy-duty easel from, where is this from? Is this Smithers? The Smithers wreath, and it has this crossbar up here, which made it perfect for showing off this design. Of course, if you were showing it at your home or hanging it up, you probably had to do a 2-day situation where you would hang it evenly on the wall. And once again, a couple of fox puffs laying at the bottom, some dried product here. What Kim did to be able to work into it a little bit easier, she's added some John Henry's or Sahara foam, dried foam, to the birch branch here, so she can plug into it, right? So she has something to work into. A lot of times we'll just glue right into the branches, but if you want to do something a little more detailed, like Kim did, she added, I don't know if you can see it or not, but she just added a small piece of foam right here on the branch, so she has something to work into. Otherwise, you're just fighting, trying to get everything to stay where you want it to stay. And then up here, in the top corner, you see, she's taken another piece of foam and wired that into place, and then glued this construction right here together. So it's much easier to work with. We share all of our secrets here at Nordlie, so just ask. Well, this is a beautiful piece. Maybe go for a mantle in the home or a sofa table in a very large entryway. But these crystals work very nicely, don't they? They have a very loose shape, so they give it a little bit of movement and glitter. Fox looks like he just wants to get up and run on there. But he's fun. She's taken a couple of branches, added them here and here, and she's glued everything in to the mechanics. So there is no foam on these arrangements, on this design. It's all glued right into the branch. Excuse me, it'll work. How are you doing this? Sure.
And this one I've come through, and now that the owl's in there, I've gone ahead and I made this artificial pink vine or raspberry vine. I've gone ahead and will look like this. So it looks like he's tucking it in and he's sort of just peeking out behind it. Coming through right now, I'm going to finish it off with some of the white frosted kind of cones, and then that will be complete. So just a couple more insertions and we'll be done with this.
This is one of my favorite pieces. I think once again, you want to get yourself off the floor. You don't want to keep it at eye level, because Kim has taken full dimensional value here and come right out. So you won't poke anybody's eye out. But it is very well done. And basically, taking a bundle of birch branches and doing a hand tie, right? She allowed that to flare open, that bundle, and then put the owl right in the center of that piece. So now she's got a nice back, so it can be attached to the wall easily. You probably shoot it at that little bit.
Yes.
Take a sit back. It's crazy. So anyway, you might want to have to attach this in 2 different places to the wall to make sure she's stable. But if you do that, what a beautiful piece to just jut out to give you a little bit of dimension to a large empty space. And again, the wall just looks like, the owl will just look like he's perched above everyone looking down. Very well done. I love the textures of that snow holly, mini holly. And again, she's a big blueberry juniper user, so you see a little bit more blueberry juniper as well. And the pine cones, not putting the pine cones directly, but hanging on the wire, also gives a little bit of movement, so it softens up the whole design. That's all done?
I did keep the right side of the wreath just a little bit more natural, not quite as heavy, to get a little bit of interest as the eyes look around the circle there. And we finished it up with some of the frosted cones that we have.
So anyway, we try and give you a little bit of insight into making the wreath from start to finish, and not just showing you all the finished product. But as you can see, it really does take on more and more as she adds different textures, different items, different focals into the wreath. It does make a difference. We start with a very plain wreath that actually is a little bit more of a yellow green, and then by adding some whites and owl, this makes it look like a very natural woodsy look. Thank you all very much. We enjoyed it. We'll be serving lunch in about 15 minutes to a half